Marco Jeremiah Olusegun Verratti is an extremely talented football player. Is Santos still the right man to get the best out of this generation of Portuguese players?
Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H.
Verratti is an amazing football player. He's an amazing football player. He is an amazing football player. So I just think that it is right to me just to start there. That's Marco Jeremiah Olusegun Verratti is an extremely talented football player. He just is. So let's just put it out there. For Portugal, Santos did amazingly well winning the Euros for Portugal under this tactic. But with this team and the kind of talent and technical ability that I see in this young Portuguese team, is Santos still the right man to get the best out of this generation of Portuguese players? So that's really just something to really think on there, you know. So looking at the game, I thought this is definitely Italy's best performance under Mancini. They were positive. They went after Portugal. They went for the jugular. They were very intense and so forth. And there's some positivity here. There's some positivity here, but just a few things here, because you see, I'm gonna talk a little bit. So this is going to be a longish postman, because with this post-match analysis, I like to go deep. I like to really be very scientific in how I talk about things and really extrapolate things. So Prandelli failed because he went against the Italian psyche. So Prandelli's psyche was, I want this team to play attractive football. I want these guys to attack. And based on them pretty much, for what people thought, based on them overachieving in 2012, people were like, you know what, wow, you know, the team was unlucky. Not unlucky. Nobody thought they'd get to that final. Nobody gave them a chance to beat Germany. They played Prandelli's very positive, much more graceful, easy on the eye football that got them to that final of Euro 2012. Okay, boom. 2014, it all failed and it didn't really happen, and then he got sacked. So I'm looking at this team, I'm looking at how Italy played, how attacking they were, how they really pushed forward, how they were creating chances, how they were always looking to move the ball forward, their one-touch football and so forth, how many men they threw forward, Chiellini and Bonucci really stepping up right up to the halfway line to really keep Portugal pending. And I was like, this looks great. It looks really good, led by the amazing talent that is, of course, Marco Verratti. But I was as I was watching that, I said, is this the right way for Italy to succeed? This mentality, this setup, this approach, is it the right way for them to succeed? Because this is just not what this Italian team is used to. And for me, look, you can say to yourself that, you know, varying styles, you know, you don't have to stick to one style. But I just felt like if you look at Spain, what made Spain is that they found their aesthetic of what's really made them fully successful, which is that this possession-based tiki-taka, which you could say was really pretty much perfect for that particular generation, where I think they need to move to a different style because different players are coming in. But I just felt like if Spain really got to the zenith of world football by that tiki-taka style, that was perfect for their people. And I think for Italy, when they've always been successful, when they've been at their best, has always been defense first, and the Catenaccio way of playing, and whether you want to call it a 3-5-2, 3-3-4-3, but that's pretty much really been focused on containing the opponents and pragmatically, technically creating those chances by gaining a 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, and so forth. So and I'm looking at some of these players in that talent, and I'm like, I'm not sure whether these players are it. You know, Chiesa, is it Barriello? And they're missing a striker. Immobile is a very, very talented striker. I don't think he's the right man for them. You're thinking of a Vieri, you're thinking of an Iaquinta who's in jail, by the way. These kinds of strikers are what they need, a real focal point in there. But I want to now switch things over to the Portuguese. But of course, I mean, I'll get back to this. I want to switch things back to the Portuguese. So, Portugal. I know what Santos is about. I know what Santos wants from this team. Santos has a very particular philosophy. I remember when he was at Greece and what he's about. He's really, really about containment. He's really about organization. We must keep our shape. If we get a goal, we get the goal. But his prides on defense, keep our shape, keep our structure, be very tactical. And he's looking at that 90 minutes warfare that is a football game and say, no, we have to fight for 90 minutes and everybody has got to chip in, fight for those 90 minutes within a game. And when we have the ball, let's see what we use. When we lose the ball, we get back into our shape. It worked very well in 26. It worked. No. See, Santos deserves a lot of credit for what happened in 2016. It wasn't a one-man job. Cristiano did not win it by himself. He was a very important figure. Cristiano didn't do it all by himself. Pepe didn't do it all by himself. Eddie didn't do it all by himself, but they played very particular roles. Fernando Santos played a very important role because that system of defense first, containment, being very tough to break down, being very physical, being very tactical, and everybody doggedly fighting their lives off, put them in winnable positions. Winnable positions towards a penalty and a winnable position in the game against France when Eddie took that opportunity. But I'm looking at this game right now, and I'm looking at what could they have done differently. And I look at Portugal. Portugal have some very talented players on the team. I mean, people are know about this guy, Charles Cancelo, who's obviously developing right now. I'm a huge fan of William Carvalho. See, when you've played football, it doesn't matter at whatever level. When you've played football, there are particular things that you see that maybe other guys don't see. And when I look at William Carvalho, because again, I told you, central midfield was always the position that I played. Central midfield is the most difficult position in football. In a different sense, because for me, I believe the two most difficult positions in football are central midfield and central defense. Those are the two most difficult positions because those positions are very demanding in different ways. But central midfield, remember, this is the middle of the pitch where most of the players are in that middle of the pitch. So the amount of pressure you have on you, on the ball, is intense. And for 90 minutes, you have to always be walking. You cannot sleep as a central midfielder for 90 minutes, whether you're the winning team or the losing team. The thing with the Carvalho is that this guy is brilliant on the ball. Rarely does he lose the ball. Every time he has the ball, the guy is chilled out, relaxed. And I just think that a possession-based game is missing from this Portuguese team. Like in that game, when we're putting so much pressure upon them, especially in that first half, second half, they came into it, but in that first half, a mindset of like, okay, we're under pressure, we keep the ball. Let's loosen the game. Let's get a tactical foul. Let's just rest on the ball. But let's just keep the ball. Move the ball around. Because if we move the ball around against a team that is pressing, all we need is that out ball when they are coming towards us. But for us to get that out ball, we've got to coax them in by moving the ball around and then boom. And you've got a guy in Bruma who has the speed, the ability, and the attacking instinct who would be perfect for that out ball. But because this Portuguese team are not trained that way, that's not in their mindset. It's very route one. It's very old school. It's very uber pragmatic, which really was not what was needed in a game like this, So that's why I said to myself that, what's for a Santos the right man, because you've got Bruma coming in. You've got this Cancelo boy coming in, who's looking very nice. You're looking at Bernardo Silva coming through. You're looking at what the Andre Silva in there as well. And there are more and more of these Portuguese guys that these guys are, because again, I did like a little piece. Obviously, people will see it on the Patreon thing that I did of one of my favorite teams of all time, which is the 2000 Portuguese team, which had some of my favorite players of all time. Two of them being Figo and Rui Costa, a fantastic team. I still believe that is Portugal's most talented team they've ever had. Just in my view. People will say the 04 team, but I feel that was a very special team. So I just think that, I think there's a new golden generation that is very creepily coming through. I've got Renato Sanchez as well. And when I look at these players, these are young players who like to play football, who are very expressive. They're not older players. You see, Santos' system works with older, experienced players who can get down in the fights. Pepe is really old now. A lot of those guys that he really relied on, especially Pepe, they're old. So in this younger team that can dribble, that can keep the ball, that are very good on the ball, perhaps they need a more attack-minded coach, a coach that actually wants them to play and actually wants them to express themselves, because this team can express themselves. And when you also put in a Cristiano in there who is still scoring well, who is still fit, who is still sharp, you could have a very dynamic team. Similar, because remember that 2000 team was an amazing team to watch because they were very expressive and have some amazing individual players. And again, we all know what happened in that semi-final. The way it went down was just messed up. But I want to roll back to Italy, man. It's looking promising for Italy, but like Chiellini is still. I think look, Bonucci is getting back to his best. Bonucci is getting back to his best, and I think what's also pleasing to see is that Donnarumma is now the number one, because Donnarumma, that's your number one for the next decade or more. And it's amazing because he's so young, but he's already like. He just needs to get his head right because he's still young. He still makes some stupid mistakes, but that's the number one for like decade. He's the next Buffon. Both names are called Gianluigi. But I do think that Italy need a striker. Name forgets me. That guy from Thingy that plays for. Oh gosh, I just had a complete blank. And blonde dude who looks like a thug. I still think they need Balotelli. Like I'm looking right there and everything like that. And you can say Balotelli, he loses the ball here and there. You need a Balotelli. Because Balotelli is that dude where, okay, fine, you'll make 5, 6, 7 mistakes. This guy can score a goal out of nothing. Out of nothing, he can score a goal. And those players are dynamite. Those players who can score. Like Immobile isn't that kind of player. Immobile needs to really get into a rhythm. Balotelli doesn't need a rhythm. Balotelli, because of how he's psychologically and his talent, he can score a goal out of nothing. And I think that presence as a striker is what they're missing badly. And I do think that they're missing like a Del Piero. Like I think they have a playmaker-ish in what Verratti brings. They may need a bit more muscle in that midfield, but I think they're missing like a Del Piero. They're missing that number 10, that guy in the middle who can bring a little bit of technical magic in that little space and bring a bit of a number 10 playmaking. Because the thing about Verratti is that Verratti can play there, but he's needed in central midfield as well. But Verratti, because he breaks from midfield so well and is so good in the last 10 and is such an amazing footballing brain, he can do that number 10 role, but you need someone else in there. So I think, look, it is promising, but, Italy, they needed to win this game, and I think that there's good stuff there, but you need a cutting edge. So I said, all these good players, all well and good, but you need a cutting edge. Without a cutting edge, no can do. But yeah, both teams are heading in the right direction. Portugal a bit more further on down than Italy. But I just think, a few little tweaks need to be made for them to realize their full potential. Peace. Thanks for watching the video. Now think about becoming a Football Hot patron by pledging an amount each month and then gain access to exclusive content only on the Football Hot Patreon page. Peace. Head over to the official site at halffootballhot.com or just click over here.